Rise from being picked up by Genji. So you could go Anivia here, and then Genji don't want to pick Rise into it, and then you actually go Rise last pick. Instead.
Wait. Where's this guy going? Support? Not going to happen.
Rel. So obviously, Delight specialist on engage picks. We've seen less just slam engage, a lot more range champions in the bot lane. It's still something he's very comfortable on, but not something we've seen as much of in the current meta, especially game one, where there's a lot of these picks open and available. Like, you know, Nico was an option they could have gone for, and they opted not to.
Thinking about the Corki here for Ruler, definitely has been something he's jumped onto many a time. Also, the damage from Smash yesterday was kind of disgusting to watch, as maybe it's just going to be them who pick up the Anivia.
Yeah, just stop a Rise from coming through from Zeka. But it is essentially going that blind Anivia. We'll see what Zeka wants to play into it.
He's got a little smirk already. It looked like he said Aurora.
Yeah.
Yep. Lip reading Valdez strikes again. And he will lock it in.
Yeah, I mean, I think Anivia into things like the Rel.
Avi once again, let's see how he utilizes it in game one. All right, game number one, Genji versus HANWHA Esports. Zeka looking for his first best-of-3 win against Chovy. Also looking to try not to die here at level 1. A lot more level 1-ing nowadays.
Yeah, forced him to recall. We've seen a lot more, yeah. It feels like the changes to make the game a lot faster cut out a lot of level 1 strategies, and then we've seen teams return to it as they realize that there is innovations you can make. You know, some of them we saw, not specifically in the LCK, but internationally, was like the run bot lane with the mid laner, level 1, and set up a gank there. But just going for the early stun, putting Zeka behind in the lane already, not a great start for him.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit worried, you know, Chovy able to get his hands on the Anivia once again. He's kind of saying, I don't need to play it into Rise. I denied a Rise pick. If you want to play something else, sure. But I am comfortable in this essentially blind.
Also, it puts Rise into a really interesting spot for game 2. I know it's getting ahead of it, but given it is Fearless, taking the Anivia away for the rest of the series, we have seen some teams picking like Anivia Bard as a rotation. And it has a lot of impact on kind of controlling the support pool in that game, but also in the series. And obviously they didn't do it in the same rotation with these, but is obviously pretty limiting in terms of denying these picks later on.
We've seen a lot of the Jace blind picking kind of go away, especially because Yorick's really good into him. We have seen that he has had a lot less success at just surviving. We've seen more solo kills against him. Now Keen is playing Jace, so I do expect him to have a little bit of a better time, but at the same time, Zeus, no slouch of his own, and the Yorick has been winning this matchup so much nowadays.
Yeah, I think we sometimes see the Jace have that early pressure in the lane, but we've seen it go both ways, to be honest, kind of depending on execution. I feel like that's the thing with Jace, is like the barrier for execution in a lot of his matchups is so high, and if you misplay or disrespect your opponent, you'll just get solo killed by a Sion, which we did see happen. Or Ikasante, or I mean, Yorick has happened a good amount.
Ooh. He's got the wall here on Zeka, who's getting very low with the electrocute.
Yeah, forces him to disengage. Chovy doesn't opt to chase, did have the egg, so maybe could have pushed a bit more, but respects the fact that Kanavi's in the vicinity. And if you do go on an egg with him nearby, he might just end up dying. But I think Zeka's doing okay, though, considering he was late to lane. Kept pretty much even in terms of farm, didn't miss out too much. So doing okay in that regard.
He was able to push up pretty aggressively and get Chovy under turret, where Anivia, especially if the minions are kind of coming in at awkward health, can really struggle, especially before her ult.
Hit auto animation is horrible. There's a few champs. It's like Anivia, Karthus.
Oh, the Karthus one.
Oh,
I just
so
cringe
rough.
every time I think about it. It's just so... The wind-up is so obnoxious, too. It's like... He's just firing a magic bolt. I don't think it needs to, like, require that much strength.
I think it's funny that it's, you know, it looks like it's requiring so much strength and then does 0 damage. Like,
Yeah.
just can't do enough to actually finish the minion off after this big wind-up. Very dramatic.
Just press her Q instead.
Yeah.
Don't use your auto. Although you kind of have to if you're jungling.
Do you see Duro here? But it is an Aurora, so...
Yeah. He did auto him and force him to hop away. Use some extra mana.
Minus 80 mana, so...
Yeah?
There's advantage. I mean, I don't... You know, you're a bard. You can always just roam up and fish and see if you can find something, but not the easiest lane to make an impact on. So far, nothing too crazy has ended up happening, and it's very even across the board, you know. Double-digit differences between each lane.
Well, we got the maiden here. Keena's going to have a lot less fun.
You know, this feels kind of rare. I feel like so often at least one person has like 100 gold lead or something.
This is a very quiet early game. Like, nothing's really happening. Nobody's getting lane leads. We don't really see Prio anywhere. Like, Ruler and Duro got pushed in a little bit, but, I mean, that's just because Jin wave clears very fast.
Both teams are farming well.
Yeah. In HLE, they say, well, we're going to clear bot wave and we're going to go to the dragon. And Gen G say, you do that. We do not care. We're not even going to look at it.
Yep, Kanavi's on the early Scuttle Crab, picking that up instead, so they're going to get some XP from that. Level 6 hit by both junglers, though.
Going up a ward was Canyon, actually, as he places a ward on the red of Kanavi, so they know he's there. And Controller comes down. I think it denies that one ward, so Canyon should know that he's on vision.
Yeah, you actually see that Canyon has second thoughts about going for that. We've seen what Kanavi will do to secure his camps. You know he's going to fight for it.
Yeah.
So, in the end, we get the back away from Canyon. The ward gets cleared out. And we're just back to the calm, relaxed state.
Yeah, we do have over 100 gold lead in mid there for a second, and in the jungle as well.
I think the one person I'm a little bit concerned about with this game state is Kanavi. Like, I feel like there might be
Is
like
he
a...
mentally okay?
Is that like a vein, like,
Yeah.
throbbing in his forehead? Just like, I need to kill someone.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty awkward for him because there wasn't an opportunity to gank Chovy. Like, he was kind of hanging around mid, but there wasn't really an opportunity. You're not going to kill Corki. It's just not going to happen, especially with the Bard. And then top lane, I mean, Keen was mostly being pushed in. I mean, it was kind of even, like, once he pushed up, but besides that, you know, Kanavi didn't really have an opportunity, so just farming it out.
Yeah, I think you might have to force it, really, if you're going to make something happen, or just wait for an objective to fight over. Looks like neither team is... Sometimes we get these compositions where, like, one team is really like, we have to get ahead. We have to force the game at our pace. And it feels like both teams kind of okay with just playing things out as it is. So...
Well, we are going to have that root missing because Chovy flashes away. The Deadly Flourish from downtown. The Gumayusi gank. This is kind of the synergy I was talking about when I saw Guma pick Jin in the draft.
Yeah, the slow from the ult from Aurora setting up really nicely. So getting that summoner, making Chovy a bit of a target. Still not the easiest because he does have the egg. And if it isn't like a skirmish or a fight, having to kill him twice is a bit of a pain when the fight's still going on. But it's still a good gank to pick up. Second Dragon's Chemtech, which means we're going to have... There's a good chance we have a strong soul, right? I mean, it could be Ocean. There are some champions who do okay with Ocean, but
yeah,
chances are we get something powerful. Now, Canyon is just picking up all 3 grubs, it seems.
Yeah, he's just going to get it before Delayed even really gets vision on it. Duro is going to flash away. and show respect to the rotation coming in from HLE. Really, nobody's making any mistakes. Even Guma is like, no, I don't win these. I'm just going to back away, use my barrier. A lot of respect being shown either way.
Oh, Keen knocked the Maiden back under the tower to finish it off.
Yeah.
50 gold. He'll enjoy that.
Huge money. Gets him 149 gold ahead.
Now I see HLE pushing pretty aggressively into Canyon's jungle. Doesn't look like a contest necessarily coming out. Oh,
He's going for the dive. I mean, Guma's pretty low, but at the same time, now the curtains are going to open, and Ruler's going to have to put on his dancing shoes, and he does dodge all 4 bullets. Guma, unfortunately, super low now after that, and will have to back.
Guma didn't have vision of him in the brush, so was kind of just guessing with some of those shots. Ruler playing with fire a little bit there, didn't quite have the damage to kill Guma, but does put him low, does chunk him out, and then able to dodge away. It's dangerous against a Jhin, because if you're too low and you disengage, it could just be 1 or 2 ult shots to finish you off. But trying to put the pressure down on his lane opponent.
Saw Duro use that roaming to just go up to the top lane and put a couple of hot cocos down for Keen.
That's so nice of him.
I think Keen is still in a bit of trouble.
It's a bit warm for hot cocoa, though.
Yeah. It was like 26 degrees Celsius, as Keen is just going to have to flash the Cataclysm. But
wow,
the damage essentially is still being done up in the top lane. Zeus is getting a nice lead with some of these plates coming in.
You know what amazed me? Is that you use Celsius as an American.
I've become more accustomed to it after living here for, 14 years, Dad.
I thought you'd just be rigid and you'd refuse to change.
No. I mean, for a while, it was weird to kind of understand how it should feel, like if I said 70 Fahrenheit, you'd be like, what does that mean? Is that sweater weather?
Cold.
No.
Oh.
It's not hot, but it's warm, and that's the thing. Like, you just don't have a sense for it if you don't use it, the numbers. Just like 100 grams before I came here, I'm like, how much is that? I don't really know. Because I just measure things in ounces and pounds. Anyway, we are going in, Delight says, as he gets 2 men grouped up as the Bardo comes in, but it's a little bit too little and too late as they're both low. The egg goes down. Delight is pretty low, but he's done his job. And now we do have Keen on the run. Chovy and Ruler did get put in the ghoulie wall, are not able to help for such a long time. Not a lot of damage, though, coming out of the HLE members. Chovy has the wall, dodges the deadly flourish, but he's got a Yorick on his back, and Kanavi comes in. And it's a big team fight here, won by HLE, and Ruler is just going to Valkyrie out. But not everybody could do that in that fight.
Yeah, HLE finding the edge and will get rewarded with a second dragon. Gen G just not really able to get the setup they wanted. And losing the Jace pretty early on in the fight. Yeah, pretty good for HLE overall. Exactly what they were looking for in this situation. So I feel like the way they approach this, Zeka being on this flank, wrapping round as Delight goes in. This is exactly what you want with this composition. So even though Chovy doesn't die initially, goes into the egg, and they can't finish him off, it still just means you don't have a member during that time. He even gets ghoulie walled afterwards, so in the meantime, HLE are like pushing forward with the pace of the fight, and Chovy eventually does start running away, but he doesn't have flash from earlier, from that gank, and does end up going down. But I just think that is exactly the angle of approach you want from HLE, is to wrap round from the side, have Zeka approaching from a different angle, and Delight, we're accustomed to it with him on the Rel, finding a really good engage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's why he picks the Rel in game 1 of Fearless. He's like, no, this is a good angle. We need some hard engage, to help out the Jhin, do some damage, to keep everybody in place for the Aurora. And I love how he just totally ignored Canyon. Like, he saw Canyon on Vision. He's like, no, I don't want anything to do with the Xin Zhao. I know where my money is made. Ruler at least is getting some plates back, but it's a 1,000 gold lead here for HLE. And now we have a gank coming in, but Delight is right here, catches the 2 of them. As there's the Tempered Fate on the turret, but now they're super low, trying to get away. Zeka, he wants more as he goes in. Canyon and Super Low gets nuked down.
Guma's got ult just coming up now.
Yeah, Duro in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to dodge everything, but he doesn't. And Guma hits the shot this time. And 2 more kills on the board for HLE.
Just great positioning from Delight to be ready, hiding, just out of vision, and gets the jump on Genji as they fly in. Really turns that play around, and the response from the team as a whole was fantastic. The fact as well that when you're playing into Jin, it's so hard to gracefully lose fights. And Guma, you could see the seconds taken away as his ult was going to come up, the low health bars, able to pick up an extra kill on the back of that. Now 2,300, 2,400 the gold lead. And this is kind of Genji rushing this, not doing their homework, not getting a ward in that brush where Delight put the control ward. If they'd seen him, they wouldn't have gone for this play. Instead, they just portal right into him. Zeka commits the rocket belt so he can get the ult. Nearly kills Duro, but he's like, it's okay. My AD carry has him.
Yeah, the second shot. And I think he just barely had vision with Delight being forward to hit that second one. And now we got Kanavi coming in. You know, he wants some of the action. He's been part of at least the team fight on the Dragon. It is Hextech Soul, by the way. And they got 2 Drakes. It's double Dragon for HLE Esports.
I mean, Hextech Soul, we always talk about being like such a big power boost and often just game winning. But especially into Genji's composition, who want to like hold their ground and control from a distance. It's just so doomed. Oh,
this is pretty interesting. The Ghoulie Wall going to help a little bit, but this is a Yorick. I mean, you're not really killing this guy. And Duro, no, the Ghoul! The last hit with the tiny Ghoul gets the kill, and Zeus is like, what was that? I was in no danger of dying at all.
Yeah, bit disrespectful there. The damage from the Maiden and the Ghouls doing a lot to Duro, who is pretty squishy. And you got to remember, they first picked this Bard, and it has just not been working out. Trying to make the plays happen, didn't land the stun, wasn't an angle for it after the Tempered Fate. And yeah, I think Zeus, I mean, obviously he gets the kill, but he just let his minions do the work.
He was nowhere near, as all his little ghouls were getting in there. Just looked very forced. I mean, that's a couple of plays in a row that were very forced. Even the positioning on the Dragon was a bit forward for a team with an Anivia that didn't even have 1 item at that point. Just feels like Genji maybe not checking all the boxes in this one. And HLE Esports are in really good form, as we can tell in their last bunch of matches, and also even at the beginning of this first game. Just looking like the much stronger team. And
yeah, also throwing the Herald down mid when Duro has his ult on cooldown, you know, into a team with Anivia and Bard, it can actually be really hard to find a time to get a good Herald down. So the fact they have that window, it's just win after win after win for HLE so far. We're going to replay up this. Just very ambitious because you only have Keen in range, and Duro has to portal to try and find the stun angle, but it's just not there. He actually stuns the minions, and then the minions don't take kindly to that.
It's a very strange, over-aggressive play.
I like to call it ambitious.
Yeah. You could say that. I think it's both, you know? It was very ambitious, overly. So, and, okay, Kanavi having a little bit of trouble up against this wall, but he is quite tanky. He is going to try to flash away, eats a big one. But Canyon is not done here. Gonna hit the wind, becomes lightning. Kanavi, though, with the Sundered Skies, is surviving forever. All the DPS just owned away. He flag drags to safety, and Delight catches 2 of them. Oh! They can't even get shot down by Guma. HLE Esports are crushing them.
Even if Kanavi had gone down, that still just seemed so winning for HLE with how long he survived. But the fact he lived as well. Oh,
what are we doing? What are we doing? He's going to be forced to flash away. I mean, trading flashes with Delight is... I guess it's okay because it's a rel, but man, just not a lot of respect being shown here.
10-1 now, the kill score. A 5,000 gold lead, 3 dragons in pocket, with it being a Hextech Soul. This is a stomp. And how slowly the game started out, it is really just amped up to 11. Now, Kanavi gets caught out here with no flag available. And honestly, he's not in a good spot. Has to flash away. Even Q's over the wall, but doesn't have the flag yet. And he's kind of stuck, but he gets the healing off 2 targets, Canyon and Duro, thanks to the Sundered Sky. And then he's like, you know what? I've got enough help. I'm going back in. And apparently he did, because the whole time he's being chased about, his team are just like, cool, we'll just keep hitting them. We'll just keep doing the damage.
Help me out here. It's essentially what he's saying.
Look, the flag was, I think it just came up like a split second after he wanted to use it.
He said, I am not doing well in this position. By the way, in live, they dove Keen and he's dead. So, kind of expected. I mean, this game is all but finished. Gen.G are going to attempt to find something in the cross map. Maybe they get this turret at least, but objective bounty's already at 19 minutes, and Hextech Soul Point for Aurora Jin from 6,000 gold ahead. I think you're feeling very comfortable if you're an HLE fan right now.
I mean, the fact Zeus can just back away from the play, doesn't go down. I mean, they get a tower, but that's it. Yeah. In the moment he queued in, it was pretty doomed. But when Kanavi and Delight come up behind the tower, yeah, it's pretty... Kanavi just tanking the tower to make it super easy. Well...
You know, nowadays we haven't had... Okay, well, what's going on here? Remember, Ruler does not have flash, so he's just dead. Yeah. I don't know what is going on with Gen.G. They look all out of sorts, and HLE, again, just looking fantastic. And because of that huge difference in form right now, HLE Life are just destroying them.
Even though there was HLE predictors, quite a lot of them, me included, I think the general consensus from everyone was, this is probably going to be close. You know, we even had the space talking about how, like Widid was saying, he was thinking of maybe flip-flopping.
Yeah, even the fan
was
predictions.
Thinking about it. Yeah.
Canyon is in a lot of trouble. He's just dead. I mean, he was trying to get in on the Baron.
And I know,
at least, by the way.
I know this is only game 1, but this is such a one-sided game. And we saw some of the stats between these teams, how normally HLE have a really strong early lead, and then they're first quite significantly for lead at 15 minutes. But Gen.G, their mid-game, is where they just bring the lead from like 400 on average, like 3,800. The mid-game is really where they have kind of fallen apart in this one. Pretty surprising, but also huge credit to HLE for setting up plays like this, where Zeka just slides in. There's just not much with the Jinnel as well. I think if the Jinnel wasn't there, you're probably still dead, but the Jinnel just, you just accept your fate.
Yeah. I mean, no flash, he had barrier, he didn't use the barrier. Definitely a good call, just to hold on to that. But, you know, it was a struggle for me to even say the word good, because nothing is good for the side of Gen.G right now. Kanavi very far ahead of Canyon here in the jungle, and with this extremely early Baron, they're just looking to maybe grab an inhibitor. Zeka, just insane amounts of damage done in this game, like way ahead of everybody else. He is legendary, 8-0. He was 3-0 like 6 minutes into the game, so, well, maybe not that early, but very quickly on in the game, and he has used that lead to great effect.
I remember he got chunked out level 1, had to join lane late. I was a little bit concerned, is he going to have a rough time in lane? And he's just been popping off. Oh, Delight in trouble.
Yeah, Delight actually in a bunch of trouble. They're going to use everything to take down the support of HLE Esports. Canyon is going to have the Temper Feed to help him out. He's going up to Zeus, and you know they're going to stop the push for now, although Canyon's super low, and Zeus just going to take him down. And maybe that's enough to get them in. Kanavi, though, playing with fire and ice.
This is where it's a little bit dangerous, even with the massive gold lead. But when you're playing in the base of Gen.G and they have the Nexus towers behind them, you can't flank around behind them, you can't immediately dive onto them. It's where that composition works really well. So HLE kind of respect that, back away. This is like ideal. Gen.G can retreat, you can't really chase them too hard, and you know the wall from Anivia basically covers the entire distance from the base wall to the wall of the rift. It wasn't set up to do so there, but it's a really good choke point for it to control, so it's not a big deal for HLE. They only lose their support, but they are taken off the map briefly. Delight is taken off the map briefly, but it means they can just go straight to the dragon and secure that, yeah. And we kind of hit on it before. The Hextech Soul is kind of just auto-win for how that comp works in the Gen.G's composition.
Yeah. I mean, they were kind of already in an auto-win position. I like how Delight, even though he got trapped by the wall in the replay, it said that he had flash, but he just didn't use it because he's like, well, even if I die here, I'll be up for the dragon. Like, there's nothing they can do. Yeah. I'd rather have it for a big team fight or the game-ending team fight. And that's very smart from Delight. And yeah, they're just going to take 2 of the inhibitors. And yeah, Chovy doesn't really get to play the game.
Ow. That seemed painful. Now, it's difficult for them just to like force through mid with all of Gen G up, but so much damage already done. Oh no.
Oh, here we go again, and he's looking for Ruler. He's not quite going to land his abilities. The knockup came in from Canyon, but that's just Canyon sacrificing for Ruler. And it's still a kill for HLE.
Gen G just pushing so far out. I think the expectation was, oh, they've retreated, they're doing jungle camps, they're going to reset and go top.
Oh man, the Hextech is setting up the plays on a Chovy even. And there's the knockup into the egg. Zeus is eating like 17 turret shots. Doesn't seem to care. Zeus, or rather Zeka, gets in and gets another setup kill, has now 10. And really all that's left is the Magi's for him.
Yeah, only the bot lane alive. Canyon's going to be up in about 10 seconds. Zeka doesn't have TP and just recall though, so I'm not sure the HLE bot lane can end the game here as a duo.
Yeah.
And they'll just dip out. Don't manage to take a Nexus turret yet, but this was just... I think the expectation was they'd retreated already, but they pushed so deeply through mid and just kind of exposed themselves. Canyon gets taken out. And this is the point where HLE like, okay, maybe now we can push into the base. Still difficult. Again, a lot of the things they want to do in team fights don't work as well. Like, they do dive here and stop Chovy from being that constant wave clear, but they're under 2 towers at this point and taking so much damage. So not ideal circumstances for HLE, but it still ends up being an even fight despite that, which just shows how far ahead they are. Now that it's a minute on Baron, and that's why it gets really scary, because with your base in this condition, if HLE get Baron, you're just going to lose your base. And to push out to contest it against Hextech Soul, it's difficult.
Yeah. Even struggling to leave the base at this point and try to get some semblance of map control.
Yeah, so Zeka has 10-stack Magi's and Rabadons.
Yes.
And also, Guma didn't build Stormrazor 3rd. He said, actually,
imagine that!
I
wow.
want Infinity
Crazy.
Edge. I want the big damage.
I would like to do DPS.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's a good sign, you know, that he would like to do some damage. Unlike some others.
I 3rd, LDR 4th. Wow. You can just do that, apparently.
Yeah.
I was convinced.
You don't have to build a Stormrazor at that point.
I mean, I don't even hate Stormrazor as an item. It's just why 3rd, you know?
Comparatively to the options.
Yeah.
You could build as 3rd. So Baron is now up. It is live. Guma gonna immediately start that. I think they want to secure Baron cleanly and then not have any hope of an Elder steal.
It's so hard for Gen G to approach now. The Light's kind of waiting on an angle to engage. And Zeka's just getting poked down.
Yeah, they see Canyon as well. Just going to drop the Aurora ults just for zoning. Even the curtains will be called as well. The Light's having a bit of trouble here by himself, though, on the top side of this fight. He will be going down, and now Kanavi by himself. They also took down Zeus on the bottom side of the fight. Guma and Zeka, though, will take out the DPS of Gen G, but yeah, when you're this far ahead with Hextech Soul, that should have been a much cleaner fight.
That was not well played. And
Zeka's
just sacrificing Guma. He said, you're on your own, buddy. I say sacrificing him.
Guma's gonna
maybe to end the
stop the match.
Okay, yeah. Zeka's just gonna end the game.
Well, Canyon did get back. Very strange kind of set of plays here.
Okay, Zeka didn't sacrifice Guma. He said, I'll distract them. I'll buy you time.
He did.
This was not a well-played fight, though. You know, I think HLE should have intended to turn more aggressively. Instead, Delight ends up getting kind of manhandled by the Anivia here. Doesn't really get to pull off an engage. It's very split fight. You see Kanavi and Zeka trying to help him, and Zeus just gets deleted by the DPS of Ruler. It was just very split from HLE, and it felt like that awkward point on Baron where you're not sure, are we finishing, are we turning? And as a result, everyone's kind of all over the place. They're still extremely strong. They're still, as you can see from this moment, very far ahead. But these last two interactions between the teams haven't been super well executed from a team who are this far ahead.
Yeah.
But now they are setting up for the Baron again. Delight still has Flash, by the way, so...
Yeah, and ults are back up, so at this point you can kind of just kill anyone. You have such a massive lead, and Keen also says, here, take me too, as they will take him down. Chovy also got to be locked up here by Kanavi, and goes into the egg. This time HLE figure it out. It was a little bit iffy in that last one, very iffy, but they're still able to win this next fight very cleanly.
Oh, Ruler's fishing.
Yeah, should be able to... Yeah, there it is. That's a lot of gold, but it's 1v4.
Yeah, does not change the state of the game, just ruins his KDA a little bit. The game is going to be over now. I think ultimately, this was like 95% of this game was extremely well played by HLE. There was